Hi there, welcome to iTWire TV. Today we're speaking to Arnies Recon CEO, Lisa Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Excellent. No, well, I'm really keen to understand more about Arnies Recon and the work you do. So I understand you rescue unwanted tech and give it a second life. So, I guess, how did you start doing this? What's the story of Arnies Recon?
Well, we started in late 2019, and my husband Adrian and I were driving by the piles by the side of the road and complaining about it as one does. And he looked at me and said, I think we should either stop complaining or shut up. And we looked at each other at that moment and said, well, we're not going to shut up. And so we realized we had to do something. And we tried a few different iterations and did some tests just to see, what was out there. And it was a real learning exercise for us. And then on December 22nd, I think it was a Sunday, I decided to put up an ad, like a Facebook post in one of the groups saying free pickup and recycling. And it actually just said free electronics recycling. And I found this picture of stainless steel appliances. And it's funny because Adrian's background is in digital marketing, and he saw that and he thought, dear sweet Lisa, how naive of her, but okay, let's encourage her. And 500 responses and 250 bookings within 2 days.
My goodness.
We said proof of concept. We've got something here, and that's how we got started.
Wow, that's brilliant. I like the, being the change you want to see in the world. I like that, you sort of got to do something. I've got to ask one question though. So you're Lisa and your husband was
Adrian.
Adrian, yes, but not Arnie. So I guess what's the Arnie's Recon? Where does Arnie come from?
So Adrian's nickname growing up was Arnie or Arnold, but Arnie. And so we decided to use Arnie's Recon.
Wow, fantastic. Excellent. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, yeah, so you've started from those beginnings, I guess, and now you have a free electronics recycling service. How does that work? And what can you tell me about that?
We get asked that question a lot. And singularly, it was the best decision we'd made, to be perfectly honest. So we're free to homes, we're free to businesses, we're free to schools and government, and every aspect of our services from the community collections for households to the door-to-door collections for businesses, schools, and government, including our certificates of destruction and erasure. All of that is free. And the reason why it was such a smart decision is that it eliminates all the friction.
Yeah.
And so there's so many different reasons why people say no to recycling or why they put it off. They've got something sitting in that bottom drawer and they look at it, and I did it myself. We had all these cables, and you have this thought called, maybe I should keep it. What if I need it one day? Or what am I going to do with that device that has all my sensitive information on it? What if how do I ensure that it's safe? And all those decisions that one has to make that might stop them from recycling. The last thing you want to do is have them think about reaching into their pocket and pulling out their credit card or even $1 to do anything. As soon as someone has to do that, they stop. And we wanted to make electronics recycling as easy and a natural part of people's daily life.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And what I've got to confess, you mentioned look in your drawer.
Yep.
And you know what? And I was looking at those yesterday thinking, I really should do something about these. And I thought, oh, what if I need them one day? And I don't. I never do. In fact, some of them are sealed to 2013. So anyway, so if people like me who have, and like you have all this stuff lying around, I guess, how many, and ordinarily we might throw it away, except your service saves that, it allows people to do something without that friction of having to really think hard or pay for it. So how many electronic devices would you estimate that you're saving from landfill annually through your service?
Well, it's really hard to estimate because we get, often we'll get a big box full of all sorts of size stuff. And so we don't really have the resources to count it individually, but we have saved over 4,700 tons in the last 3 years, and we average about between 4 and 12 tons a day, depending on what comes in the door.
That's massive. That's incredible. And we just talked. I mean, I've got that drawer of hard drives and things.
Mhm.
Why do I do that? Why do I hoard stuff when I could send it to you and repurpose it? What do you? I guess what is that mentality going on with people? Do you have any?
Look, there's a number of things. There's no easy way. You can't, like, we don't have a place to just put it out on our doorstep. And even if we did, the question is what happens to my data? And the thing I think that's a little bit different with us is that we come and take it from you. So when you come to a community collection, and we've had people today, I had someone just handed me a box of hard drives, but they're handing it to me as a person. And we have assurances on our website, and we give people assurances. And for companies that need certification, we have documentation as well as a full audit trail. We could even trace it down to the very smelter that is handling that aspect of their hard drive. So the thing is people want to ensure that their data is safe. That's the big thing. And then the other thing is letting go of their items. We have 10 different ways that we recycle, and we really always look for what's the most efficient form. And I've got a few pieces here, and one of my favorites is this beautiful Canon camera. It's a film camera. And there are a lot of companies who do the right thing, but they will put this in with everything else, and it will become pelletized. And so that beautiful lens, the glass and the lens will get crunched up. All of this, the plastics and the metals and everything will all get ground up and put back into manufacturing. So it does stay out of landfill. But I think one of the things that we do a little bit differently is that we value the heritage of this item and the history that it has. And so we try to find a collector who will love it and restore it and use it. And so I think that people know that we do that, and so they're more likely then to give us these items.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. No, that is a beautiful camera. That's awesome. So people think, I don't want to throw this away because it could be useful to somebody. That's exciting that you actually do find a use. That's wonderful.
We get the stories all the time. We have people who come to our community collections with a box, and they say, this was from my father's house, and he used to, and then the stories come out about what he used to do, and he had a camera collection, and I had this one woman whose mother just passed away, and she ended up in tears and crying, and she had, some really beautiful pieces that, she was happy to give because she knew they would find another life, that someone would love them.
Yeah, fantastic. Now we've talked about hard drives, and we've talked about cameras, and I can see behind you have a radio and a motherboard and an old Nokia phone. I guess is there a particular type of electrical device you specialize in, or is it anything electrical or even anything non-electrical? I guess what type of devices are in scope for the work that Arnies Recon does?
If it is a cord, if it has a cord, if it's electric or electronic, we take it.
Okay.
And so there are very few things that we don't take, and mainly because of the hazards that they might offer, that they need specialized recycling. But we pretty much take everything. What I have here is I have cameras, I have tablets and iPads. We have a beautiful fake-like radio. This is an old Brownie camera. This is a Sony tape deck. There's a MacBook Pro and a circuit board, and old phones. And so we do take a range of items from businesses. We pretty much take everything from servers and server racks, switches, routers, pretty much it runs the gamut.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, I understand you talked about community pickups, but you have a partnership with Westfield, I believe. Is that correct? And I guess
Yes.
it's more about your Westfield partnership.
Oh, well, we won Local Hero in 2021, and then Westfield approached us with this idea of doing a pickup collection point in their shopping centers. And so we started with Bondi Junction, and then we went to Chatswood, which we actually have a collection. It's a business-focused collection tomorrow in Chatswood. And we Warringah Mall, and Parramatta is set to come online.
Oh, fantastic. There are Westfields to me. So if I went to your website, do you have a calendar, I guess, of where the pickups will be?
Well, we have on our community collections page, we have all the local areas where we are going to have collections. Some of them are Westfields. Westfields is winding down for the year because, as you can well imagine, as as the holiday season ramps up, they are, all hands on deck. And so once we get past that, we'll resume the collections with Westfield.
Okay, fantastic. Oh, that's great. I'll definitely go to your website and check out the community collections page. That's fantastic. Just,
Excellent.
I guess, changing tack a bit. What do you think about the Australian government's announcement that it's going to put $1 billion into infrastructure to enhance the ability for the country to recover and remanufacture waste materials? Does that policy? I guess, what are your thoughts on that policy? Do you welcome it, or not going far enough, or what do you think?
Look, I think it's a step in the right direction. We globally are getting better, and we have a ways to go, and nobody really has it all perfectly yet. So I think certainly we have to encourage investment, encourage every action that's being taken. Certainly I would love to see government support for some of the smaller players, and that it would be great if all the money didn't just go to the large organizations, but anything that's improving the recycling, on the ground is a fantastic step, and I certainly welcome it and look forward to more.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent.
Mm.
What about also obviously we have a good presence in Sydney. What about, are you planning to expand to other cities and maybe have other partnerships, whether or not with Westfield, but maybe other organisations in other locations who do a similar thing? Are there any plans for that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, we always thought of this as something that we wanted to expand nationally, and COVID certainly, shelved some of that temporarily. But yes, we've always been in conversations with Westfield from the beginning with the idea that we want to expand nationally, and we are speaking to other centers about partnering with them as well. It just seems to be a really good values fit with Westfield. They've got quite a sense of responsibility, community responsibility, and they're very big on sustainability. So we certainly welcome that partnership and look forward to expanding it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mm.
So about finding you, so you mentioned the community page on your website. So just to be sure, that
Mm.
webpage, arniesrecon.com.au?
It's arniesrecon.com, and it's /community-collections, but it's all on the website as well as a page for businesses. And because we are very much a consumer brand, but we are very serious about our data security and our processes. And we actually work with and service some of the larger organizations in Australia. And so we absolutely have those capabilities as well.
That's fantastic. And as well as the community pickups where people can take their things, businesses can take their things, what about big objects? Like I imagine maybe if like let's say I had a huge TV, can I drop
Hmm.
that off somewhere instead of, do you have a
Oh, yeah.
facility instead maybe?
We've got our warehouse in Marrickville at 1/17 Barclay Street in Marrickville, and we've got about 684 square meters of warehouse space, and it's just waiting for lots of stuff to be dropped off. And as a matter of fact, we get upwards of, at least 2 van loads a day of people
Yeah.
dropping off. Mm.
Okay, excellent. And does that run only in select hours, or is that every day of the week?
It's Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And on Saturdays, we take a day off.
Yeah, good. You sound like you deserve it.
Yes.
Saving the world. That's brilliant. No, I enjoyed learning about Arnies Recon and the great things you do, and yeah, that's fantastic. And I really like, how you started by saying, look, you saw this trash everywhere and it was upsetting you, and you decided, well, I'm going to do something about it, and the way you've gone about it, reducing friction, so people can just drop things off at you. Check out your community page, deliver
Thank you.
electronics, deal with it, and that's wonderful. No, I'm going to make a box with my hard drives in my drawer there and other things, and I'll find my way
Excellent.
to. Excellent. No,
Excellent. We look forward to seeing you and your staff.
yes, yes. I won't tell you any
Mm.
great stories. There's no stories on my end. They're not sentimental. Just got to get rid of them. Excellent. No, well, thank you so much. So that's
Mm.
Arnies Recon CEO, Lisa Saunders. Thank you, Lisa. That was great. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for the opportunity.